Hi, welcome to Who Are You Wearing, the fashion podcast that's not really about clothes. I'm Alice, and my guest today understands that whether you're designing a home or getting dressed in the morning, great style is all about expressing who you are. He's the architect behind HOKO Design, and you'll probably know him from the massively successful Scotland's Home of the Year, where he introduces us to some of the country's most beautiful and brilliantly designed spaces. But today we're swapping floor plans for fashion to find out what his style says about the man behind the buildings. It's Danny Campbell. Danny, welcome to the dressing room.
Oh, thank you for having me.
How are you?
Very good, very good. A bit intimidated by all this colour and sparkles and stuff, but yeah, excited to get going.
Well, I mean, do you want to give us a quick evaluation? Where would we score on Scotland's Home of the Year for our little dressing room?
I think the panelling wallpaper,
yeah,
that's definitely something that people are going to steal, I reckon.
Okay.
I think the use of black, the acoustic soundboards, the curtains, a really good acoustic choice as well.
Okay, I'll take that. So I love to find out when my guests first come in about their outfit today. And I mean, this is no shade, but I feel like you're someone who very much has sort of like a uniform thing going on. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, it's beyond a uniform at this point. It's like a mental breakdown that spiraled into like a complete behavioural pattern. So a few years ago, I used to enjoy getting dressed for work, getting dressed for events, and I decided to just abandon fashion completely and just go for that cliched stereotype, just straight black look that would go everywhere. Probably like you spend most of the day dodging from this job to that job where everything kind of overlaps. So I wanted to pick something that was universal.
But I love that you've done it in like a very sensible, classic, timeless. And I'm like, yeah, the sparkly boots that I can't walk in, that's the solution.
Well, there is some humour in this as well. Like wearing Crocs, that's something which is
a choice.
Yeah, it's synonymous now as well. It wasn't a clever personal branding exercise either. It was a genuine moment where I had to pick a shoe that was going to be the shoe that I would wear all the time. And I had loads of choices. Obviously, I was going to just go with like white trainers, but then I thought, the upkeep of those, you know, they're expensive, and then which brand do you pick? And that says a lot about you as well. And I thought, I'm going to go for the stereotypically worst shoe in the world. And I think to actually wear those to investor meetings and client meetings, it says a lot about what you've got inside.
You're very confident, I'll give you that. Man's bringing the Crocs back for 26.
Oh yeah, they're coming back. They are coming back.
But, you know, being an architect, you obviously are very visually minded. Has that always been the case? Did you love, you know, interiors and even getting dressed up in your teens?
Yeah, well, when I was a child, one of my favourite toys that we had was our dressing up box. So we had all sorts of stuff in there. You could be anything you wanted to be, but my favorite was this full one-piece lion suit that had this massive mane as well, and a big long tail. And I would love just dressing up as a lion and cutting around and doing that around the house. And that, you know, ironically, when I graduated as a lion, when I graduated as an architect.
Okay, it's like when you graduated as a lion tamer. Wow.
Yeah, I know. I actually, in my last job, I was a lion. The irony is, my job was at a zoo, working as a zoo architect. And when I graduated, I'd been at an event at the zoo the night before, and the event had gone on way too late. I had to get the mega bus from Birmingham back to Glasgow Uni. And as part of the zoo event, I was actually face painted and dressed up as a lion. So I turned up at the university really late to get my robes with full lion garb on. So
are you being serious?
Yeah, genuinely serious. And they were telling me that you can't graduate like that, but I literally had no time. So I was in the bathroom like trying to rub off this like lion face paint.
So you didn't actually walk over the stage with your lion makeup?
Sadly not. They wouldn't allow it. I wish I'd put my paw down on that one because that would have been iconic.
Okay. I was also going to ask you, because I've always wanted to ask an architect this. Were you obsessed with The Sims growing up?
Yeah, I was a little bit obsessed with Sims and Lego. It's a classic, isn't it? But the thing I really enjoyed doing was den building. So where I lived in Gairloch Head, we had this massive forest next to us, which is called the jungle. So like throughout the summer, we'd constantly be out there like building dens and sorting out swings and different hideouts. And we had names for all the different trees that we'd go and hide in. And I think that's probably what really sparked my kind of love for like shelters and different spaces.
So kind of briefly chat me through your journey. Like, how did you go from studying architecture to having your own business to ultimately being on Scotland's Home of the Year?
Yeah, it's funny. You can kind of see how it worked in hindsight, but when you were living through it, it was just panic and chaos and stress and a couple of highs thrown in there as well. So I've always kind of done my own thing. Like throughout university, I always had side hustles. And then when I kind of got through the long architectural training, I decided to set up my own little business. It wasn't an architecture practice. It was called HOKO Design, but it was doing a bit of graphics, a bit of website, a bit of artwork. And then I found these clients who wanted to do like a small extension, and I thought I'd give it a go. So I gave it a go, and it went really well. And I thought, I love this. I love working with homeowners. And gradually started to build a business model around working with that demographic. And the deeper I got into that problem, I realized nobody was doing that at scale. And actually in architecture, like in fashion, there was a stigma against home extensions. Like the way architects see home extensions is actually the way most people see Crocs.
Okay.
So there's a really nice metaphor there into taking something which is actually a massive opportunity, which is overlooked, and making it socially acceptable.
I feel like you're really trying to sell me on Crocs, and I just don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think so. I don't think you're their market. But do you know what? The day you decide to put on Crocs and wear them outside, you'll discover something about yourself.
Okay.
I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Scotland's Home of the Year then, absolutely massive TV show, recently won an RTS award. How are you finding the sort of like red carpet side of being on that show? Is that something you enjoy? What is your process for like getting those outfits together?
Yeah, it's a kind of a weird situation because red carpet type stuff was not really my background. I didn't set out to have a career in the media or anything like that. So to go to these events, obviously we were nominated for a BAFTA last year as well. So went to the BAFTAs, and that was like Ewan McGregor was there, and James McAvoy, and it's quite daunting. So generally with my own wardrobe, I try and keep it quite minimalist. I've got 3 boys as well, so in my life there's a lot of visual noise, so I quite like to keep things quite simple, quite monochrome. I hate bells and whistles. I think it's a classic architect thing that you want to simplify everything to its like core being. I think that's what I'm like with clothes as well. But I went for like a nice like velvet suit, which I got from Moss, which was really, really nice. And then just had like a nice little roll neck underneath. No shirt and tie. Can't be doing any of that stuff. That's too much for me.
But then like when you have people like Anna and Banjo, like they're a lot more flamboyant. They're so stylish. Did you ever feel any pressure being on TV that like for the first time people were going to really be looking at you?
Yeah, I got quite a bit of pressure from the people at the BBC as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
like I got a call from the producer, and they were saying they want me to wear more colour.
Okay.
And I was like, what? It's not who I am.
Yeah.
And I kind of dabbled in denim for a little while.
Okay.
Weird time. I don't know what I was doing. Like the series that went out there, I had like a denim jacket with the jorts. It's like, what am I doing? I watched it back and thought that's just a bizarre look for me. And I think at the time it was just summer and kind of went with it. But I think for me, the idea of being looked at is far less important than what I'm actually saying and how I'm carrying myself. So I don't really mind what I wear ultimately, but I think that what fits me is actually wearing stuff that's quite inconspicuous.
Yeah, and like you don't want to detract from these incredible houses because they are incredible. Do you have a favourite? I know that's like picking your favourite child, but do you have one that you're like, oh, I wish I could live there?
Yeah, we've just finished the series that comes out next summer.
Okay.
And there was one in that series which I keep thinking about. I think about it pretty much like every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a real beauty, yeah. So you'll have to watch that when it comes out. But in previous series, the Earth House that didn't win, that was a huge favourite for me up near Aviemore. That was a cracker. The one that won this year with the 3 extensions in Edinburgh, that was a beautiful home as well.
So your dress sense quite minimal, but what about your own home and your approach? Are you quite simplistic, or do you like things that are maybe a bit quirkier?
Yeah, well, it's a funny thing because when you spend your life going in and out of homes all the time, when it comes to your own space, you're craving simplicity and to kind of have a feeling that represents who you are. But I don't live on my own. I've got 3 little boys, and the thing that makes the home special is them and all their stuff. So I think having a space that is like rich with all their things is really important. Like having little artworks that they make, framing them like really professionally, that sort of thing is really, really nice. Like the scuffs on doors, like my eldest Teddy, he cut this bit of wood off a branch, like a real scruffy bit of wood, and he cut it with a saw himself, and he was determined to get this hung up in the hallway for his school bag and his jacket, and it's this grubby like mossy bit of wood, but I was like, oh, what the heck? So like got the roll plugs out and straight away it's on the wall. So that sort of thing, if anybody else was to come to the house, they'd be like, ugh, what is that stick? But for us, while the home is kind of dispensable at the moment, it's okay to let them kind of cause havoc with it.
Homes are so funny though, aren't they? Because I suppose they're kind of like our clothes in a way, in that like there's a practical job with the house. You have to live in it. Your outfit, you have to get through the day, but you want to kind of put a bit of your personality in it as well. And I would love to know kind of what tips do you have for creating a space that is quite practical but also feels special?
Yeah, the feeling thing is really important. We did this big survey with Sterling Home recently, the Style Index, and it was amazing to see that the thing Scottish people take pride in more than anything else is sentimentality and objects that are important to them. So like going into a show home, it can look great and stuff, but it's clinical, it's devoid of any actual emotion. So I think if you've got an object or something that really means something to you, maybe it's like an heirloom or a bit of furniture that's been passed down or something you've salvaged, using that as an anchoring point and then helping that build out a style palette for you is a really, really good way to do it.
Nice. Well, we have to talk trends, of course. So as much as I think with clothes, you should wear what you love, and with your house, you should buy what you like, we are quite swayed by trends. So what are some of the big trends we should look out for homeware in 26?
Yeah, I mean, well, calling something a trend in fashion as well is the quickest way to kill it.
Totally.
Yeah, so like whatever I say now is going to get cancelled.
Okay, so
and
whatever you
nobody's gonna
suggest, don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think there's some really nice use of brown colour palettes at the moment.
And in fashion, we're having a brown moment. I don't really understand why.
We're having a brown moment sounds really weird. But yeah, I totally agree. It's such a rich palette. It's really can be really earthy. It can be really sophisticated. It works well in different materials like leather and velvets and obviously wood as well. So there's loads of nice use of browns that are getting layered up as well. I think tiramisu as well has been one of those desserts that's had a massive comeback. I think that's kind of started off on the tongue and it's kind of worked its way into our homes now as well.
Now you say that, I actually, like tiramisu is like the viral thing right now, right?
Yeah.
Like it's at your table, tiramisu, giant tiramisu. How is that working in your house?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you maybe just get that like the chocolate sprinkling on your ceiling, and then you got your cream layer, and then you got your ladyfingers down on the carpet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like that. Someone's actually layering their homes in the same way.
What I am seeing a lot that's kind of tangential to that, pistachio. Everything is, which I actually like. I love the colour pistachio. But like, am I right? Is this having a moment right now?
Yeah, I think so. I think these things do seem to come back around again. I'm waiting for those, those kind of like 50s and 60s bathrooms that everyone used to love ripping out. The kind of brightly coloured, pastel coloured bathrooms. Yeah, I think they're going to make a comeback, like bright yellow sinks. Something like that would be really cool. I think people are kind of done with boring. They're ready to kind of express themselves. Yeah,
well, speaking of boring, so there is a little Scottish architectural trend right now to do with putting cones onto statues.
Oh, yeah.
I believe you might have something to do with this. Do you want to tell me about your recent ventures in Boston?
Yeah, this is massive. I think this is the love story of the decade, because the Tartan Army went out there, and I'm not a massive football fan by any means, but I was totally won over by the impression that they left on the Americans.
Totally, me too.
They just fell in love with the Scottish people, and I think we always associated Boston as being Irish territory, but I think that they've fallen in love with us, and it's almost like old flames have reconnected, lost hearts across the Atlantic, and this kind of relationship has started blossoming. So what me and Andrew Dobby did was we got this commemorative cone, and we got Stuart Patrick from the Chamber of Commerce to sign it, and then we put it out online as a peace offering to Boston, to connect with Scotland.
Which is of course inspired by the cone and the statue in Glasgow.
Yeah, the Duke of Wellington, the coning thing, which has now become massive. I mean, I had a friend came back from watching the World Cup, and he said every statue had a cone on it, and they just loved it. Like they came in like this hurricane of cones and just like coned everything. Yeah. And I thought that's just a funny kind of cultural phenomenon that we just took overseas for a while. But yeah, the video went really viral, and the people quite high up in the government in Massachusetts have been in touch. So we're hopefully going to get the cone out there, which is our mission. And I think that could lead to a much longer term partnership between Boston and Scotland, which would be a beautiful thing.
It's so funny. I'm sure I read today that Edinburgh Council is asking people to stop putting cones on statues. Like, it is like an epidemic at the minute. Why do you think we're so obsessed with doing this? Is it just because it's funny?
Oh, it's cheeky, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's cheeky and it's funny. And I think that, there's so much bad news all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone's so stressed and there's so much worry, and like maybe you can just undercut the whole thing by just putting a cone on something. I think there's something really beautiful about people from different cultures coming together and connecting through humor and silliness.
Totally.
I think that's human spirit. That's what we're here to do. And it's people building relationships and, sharing love and kindness and laughs with each other. And that's how you level up, I reckon. That's how you level up in life.
Have you seen any equivalents of a cone on a statue in homeware? What is the way to add like a little cheeky sprinkle to your house, do you think?
What, like little Easter eggs?
Yeah, just like a little taste that I'm not too serious. I've got something going on.
Yeah. Oh, it's lovely when people don't take themselves too seriously. I think flipping functions of spaces into things that are quite different is always quite fun. I mean, putting stuff in bedrooms that shouldn't be in bedrooms.
What?
Like a bath in a bedroom is a really
Okay.
nice way to show that, we're a bit extravagant. We can do things a bit silly. I think people who aren't so overly formal about sticking to like the rules and flip things on their head and aren't scared to do a bit of modification of something. I think that's another good way to show that you're not taking yourself too seriously. I think also going for products that fit within your style range, but then throwing in something completely random is another nice way to have a bit of fun with it.
Okay, nice. I need to have a think about what I can do in here. Maybe I'll put a cone on Mannequin Lady.
Yeah, you could do, yeah. Or a cone dress would probably work.
Yeah, I like that actually. I'm going to find a way to make that happen. So to finish off, we've got something called the Who Are You Wearing Quick Change round. So I normally ask this about, I am going to still ask it about your clothes, but I'll maybe also ask you about homeware as well. And it's basically just the first thing that comes into your head so I can kind of get to know you a bit better.
Right.
So what are you wearing when you want to feel your absolute best?
Crocs probably.
Crocs.
Yeah, I'm not going to answer Crocs for every answer because I feel like that's going to get really boring.
I think you probably could. Number 2, what's one item of clothing you will never throw away?
Okay. I'd probably say it's my Crocs, to be honest.
Okay. Just for a wee segue into homeware, is there something in your house that you would never throw away?
I'm trying to think. If I was going to try and salvage something if the house was on fire, I'd probably get some sentimental kid stuff.
Yeah, like the little twig hook thing.
Yeah, I'd be like getting the drill out, putting it on reverse, and like, can you get my twig out the wall? Yeah, it's definitely combustible.
So, what is the most you thing in your wardrobe? I mean, don't say Crocs, but
Yeah. Do you know what? I usually just wear Crocs and like a massive like HOKO t-shirt.
okay.
So I think I very much like live being my brand. So yeah, I did get a few customized bits of clothing made, so I think they're probably quite unique. I got a jumpsuit made for the first final of Scotland Swim of the Year. So that's a really unique item of clothing, which is like a bespoke piece that got made. Also got a black kilt made from slange with pockets in it and stuff.
Nice.
So that's really good as well. So if I was going to get something, maybe get those.
What is a fashion trend you hate and you would never try?
Do you know what? See people who obsess over trainers and buying expensive trainers
And then never wear them, and people buy them and
keep
never
them in
wear
the box.
them.
I think it's really tragic. I think also like watches, people getting expensive watches. I've just never got my head around it. I remember once someone showed me their watch and told me how much it was, and immediately I just switched off.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't wear a watch. I think that like material stuff anyway, it's never for me led to any long-term feeling of contentment. So yeah, trainers and snapback collection, that's something I'd never get involved with.
Fair. What about a homeware trend? Anything I can ask you that you don't like?
That I don't like. I think buying things with no purpose, that really bugs me as well.
Okay.
Like there should be a reason for something. You should either like it because it meets your aesthetic, or it should be doing something for you. I think just pointless objects is kind of weird. It's like when you get like a jacket and it's got a zip, but the zip doesn't open, it's just for show.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
is annoying.
like why are we doing that? It's kind of who trying to fool here.
But ornaments are fine if you love them.
Yeah, I think so. If it's something that you think is like, I mean, ornaments are, they're a piece of art. Like objet d'art is what they call it in French, little objects of art. So I think it's more than fine for anybody to collect things that they find physically appealing. But I think just filling a space for no reason doesn't really Like, what's the rationale there?
Fair. Okay. What is something you have worn and regretted?
Oh, I think the denim jorts, that's maybe not a good one.
Not the line outfit. That was fine.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think I know what the answer to this is going to be, but if your wardrobe could only be one colour for the rest of your life, what is it going to be?
Green.
Green.
No, it would be black.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought we were going to get a good story there.
No, it would be black. I think it's, do you know what? I've kind of got this idea that there'll come a point in my life where, I maybe leave my business and it moves on to get taken forward by somebody else, or maybe my media career takes in a different direction, or I do something else entirely. But I think there'll come a point where I'll fall back in love with trying different fashion ideas. I can feel it bubbling. I've got some ideas as well of items that don't exist in the world that I would love to have. Like I was looking for like weighted clothing, so I wear these weighted vests at CrossFit for certain workouts, and I was like, do you know what, I would love to have a t-shirt that weighed like 15 kilos, and I could just wear that every day and be burning extra calories, you know, getting a stronger back. Like, I think there's a lot of people who struggle to get time in their day for fitness, so maybe fashion could be doing a lot more for us than just making us look cool.
Well, you know what, so Chanel, a proper Chanel jacket has a little weight sewn into the bottom of the jacket, but the reason for this isn't to get you hench, it's to stop your jacket like blowing in the wind, because that's so annoying, isn't it?
Oh, that's clever.
So like, I'll wear weighted clothes for that. I think my life is maybe optimized enough. I don't know if I need
That's how you're getting jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and something fun I'm getting everyone to say is I'm looking for a name for my mannequin lady. I've had some crackers, but do you have any suggestions of what we could call her?
Oh, she's a bit monochrome. What do you call that pattern?
I think it's called Damask.
Damask.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah. I think you should call her Eileen, because it's not quite straight on the floor and it's kind of like leaning over a little bit.
Okay.
So I think Eileen could work for this one.
I think that works very well. Thank you. Okay, Danny, before you go, is there anything you're working on right now? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, some really good stuff. So the Style Index with Sterling Home was an amazing study, but it's featured heavily in how HOKO are working with our clients as well.
Okay.
So we're launching a really cool new service where we're helping people discover their own design DNA and how they make a space feel like them as well. So that's a really exciting partnership with Sterling, obviously the biggest retailer in Scotland, so loads to choose from there. So they're letting me into their stores, which is like a total playground for a designer like me. So that's a really cool thing that we're launching soon.
And we have a new series of Scotland's Home of the Year coming next year.
Yep, that'll be coming next year as well. Yeah,
amazing.
That's going to be really cool.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Danny.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I think me and Eileen had a great chat with Danny, although I'm trying to think of ways to maybe make my studio a bit more tiramisu. I don't know. Anyway, if you enjoyed today's episode, please give us a like, follow, subscribe. You'll find us on Instagram and TikTok, and come back next week to see who's joining me in the dressing room. Thank you. See you then.